G'day viewers, Tim Hawkins here from GT-VTV. I'm in the studio here tonight with a couple of the boys from the band Loaded Billy. Colin, Spida, Dixon, the boys from the Hoverchords. Goes by the name of Pigsy. Oath of Damnation. I'm here. Tony Knight.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Mr. Clement.
Yo!
How are you, mate?
Alright.
Stephanie Rossi.
Sorry, are you going?
The Fyoogs.
I think the heaviness as well, you know.
We try to be techie but heavy as well. A lot of bands get techie but they lose the heaviness, but we try to keep it heavy too.
Yeah, right. So it's almost kind of like a prog sort of rock
Extreme
thing,
prog.
Yeah. That's
It's like proggy death metal, if you can say that.
Well, I mean, it's got a very sort of heavy, sort of dark ambience about it, even though it's very sort of aggressive as well.
Yeah.
I think overall it is sort of, that's the foundation of it, but it does have more symphonic and prog elements that sort of woven in there subtly.
yeah, which hence makes it that gives it that sort of proggy sort of sound, you know.
Yeah, some of the old timings that come in sort of really sort of stand out when it's sort of surrounded by all the murkiness and the darkness.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
heaviness
right.
Yeah. And the symphonic thing is very evident as well, like with the keyboards and the choir and string sounds we have and stuff like that.
Adds the black metal.
Adds another dimension to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys have got some gigs coming up. You said you're getting ready for some gigs you've got coming up. So you guys are gigging, obviously, doing that's like metal shows with they're putting on like 3 or 4 or 5 bands at a time. Seem to be the go these days, especially in Adelaide. I know Adelaide's got a good metal scene going, but I think it's always better if there's more than 3 bands playing in that night. You tend to get more people in the room, don't you reckon?
For sure.
Yeah.
A lot of gigs we play would be at least 5 bands or more.
Backing vocals and all that sort of stuff. Me and Mitch have been together 4 or 5 years, but the band's just developed heaps. It's changed. It's always changing. The songs are always changing. We've always got heaps of new material. So it just sort of evolves, and it's not something we do consciously. We're going to do this or that, or be this style. It just evolves with the songs that we're doing. It sort of started off as blues rock, then it went stoner rock, then it went psych rock, and now it's just, I don't know what it is, but it's just
desert rock.
Yeah, it was desert rock for a while, desert blues we called it, but it's not even that now, it's hard, but we don't like going into genres anyway.
No.
It probably gets a little bit boring, especially for the drummer. They tend to use the same beats or something, but it's just the way it evolves. It's not deliberate, but we get all these new songs and it just seems to take us like wherever.
Well, it's natural, isn't it? You're not trying to do something, you're just doing something.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like I'm hopeless with my hands working wood and stuff, but when I had to do this project with this wood, the guy said to me, you've got to go, let the wood take you where it's going, which I'm meant to lie, and he said it will go, you've got to go with it. And he was right, because someone tried going the other way and it just broke in half.
Exactly.
And we went with it and it came out quite good, and it's definitely like that with this. You sort of just got to go with we start playing it. The good thing with writing is you start off with an idea, but then you don't really know it's going to go to your play together. It changes, and then the beat sort of changes, bass comes with something different, and then it just gets a vibe of its own, and then I find it easy then to sort of write the lyrics then. It's got, this has got like a road driving feel, so and the lyrics that way, this sounds like the ocean, or this is trippy, or this is real laid back, whatever.
So you guys are gigging, are you gigging?
Yeah, look, definitely. We're trying to pick and choose the gigs that we do, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
We want to make impact when we do gigs. We were lucky enough late last year early this year to do a show with Pat Smith and 11. He took us on board down at the NU, let us open for one of his shows, and look, I think it was really, really well received.
Right.
As well as we just did a show with South Coast Raw. I don't know if you've ever heard of South Coast Raw, but it's I suppose a continuation of Mid Coast Meltdown, which happened back in the early 90s down at Port Nalunga Football Club.
Yep, right.
Having great bands like Bearded Clams, West Pope, Snorkel.
Yeah. Free moving.
So getting back to my movie, because I've gone off track a little bit there, but so the movie is in relation to an outlaw motorcycle club and what happens when the government, takes away all their freedoms, and we talk about, the reason they're doing this is because all these bikers are supposedly criminals. And they start stripping away all these guys' freedoms, so that they're put into a situation where, well, how do we make a living now?
Yeah.
And that might just happen to, without giving away too much of the, it might just happen to take this certain group down the wrong path.
Right.
Which then gives the government, oh look, see, we told you they were criminals, but
Right,
they actually weren't at the time.
No.
So it's what the government actually creates by trampling all over people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so that's basically the gist of the film Patched. It's based on around those laws there.
And I mean, look, it's a story. There's stuff taken from fact. I mean, we have I have some members of outlaw motorcycle clubs that have given me information so that I can make sure that part of it looks right. I have information from the police force making sure that looks right. I've spoken to government officials and all of that. And so it's like there's a lot of, it has a massive amount of credibility, but it is still a story.
Right.
Somerset, then in 2 weeks we're up in Littlehampton, and the week after that we're in Gawler, the Kingsford, so it's all over the place.
Oh, that's good. These are the same pubs that you do your solo stuff at, or
Yeah,
is it different?
a lot of them, it's been a bit of a not a compromise, like some of the shows I do, I'll go, well, I can bring John in, and he'd love to play, and blah, blah, blah. And he's doing the same with a couple of his rooms that I haven't played, where he's going, well, I've got a guy, Pigsy, that's going to come in and do the show with me, so it's been good for both of us.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, that's excellent, mate. So showcasing your EP that's coming out. What's an EP? So it's what, 5 songs or something?
6
like
tracks.
6 tracks. Yeah. Okay. And they're all sort of like rock. But you said folk. You're going folky as well.
I'm going like dragging the mandolins and the banjos out.
Oh, wow.
I love my Celtic instruments.
1 of 2.
Yeah. So how's it going, mate?
Very well. Another successful night, and I filmed it tonight. So
Oh, you filmed it as
I
well?
did. Yeah. Because someone put their head in front of it last night. So I watched it back and went, all I got was the head. So I raised it like.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So it all went well.
Very well.
You got what, 2 nights left to go?
2 left. That's it.
I don't know if we'll get this edited out before the end of the night, so
It's all right.
Come
to the next show.
We will. The next show is in February, I think.
January.
God
of Carnage.
Okay. That's here at the Bakehouse.
Yes.
And you got, I think, 3 or 4 productions next year coming up. Is that 4 with Starc Productions?
Yep. A musical that I've written at the end of the year. And I don't know if we can announce the rest, but yeah.
Okay.
God of Carnage and the musical we can announce. With the other 2, we're just.
So, okay, but the musical's something you've written, so it's a comedy.
It's no, not really.
Really?
No,
Oh, that's surprising.
there's elements, but it's pretty like serious.
Okay. Songs slowly became, acceptable, if you like. Yeah. We're getting somewhere now. You know what I mean?
The songs were all written to be very scalable as well. Yeah, they were quite simple, but there were also other layers to them. So there was a whole bunch of stuff with odd scales and melodic minor scales and diminished scales and all sorts of jazz theory and stuff that could sit on top of a fairly basic sort of backbeat that suited us all, and that as we grew, we could grow into those songs. But
like when people listen to the album, the bed of the band is really this Hammond bass just thumping away in the background. It just sits there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what it does, because it's so simple when it's at that level all the time, it provides Steve and me or whoever's going over the top. It's just this constant feel. You know what I mean? And I think when people listen to it, it's got that quite relaxed evenness to it, which an electric bass has to a point, but certainly on an organ, it's through the roof.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it sounds great. I'm loving it. I was really surprised to hear that you were, not actually playing bass so much in this, and you've moved to the organ. I thought, well, that's
something different, man. We've all got to keep growing. And that was part of Steve's sort of mantra when we were talking about starting this, was let's do something different, man.
If you saw the beginning of rehearsal to now, you'd be like, whoa, different show.
Okay.
Just it's evolved so much.
Well, that's
It's
excellent.
found its place.
Yeah, wow. So it's become you guys.
It has.
Really has. You've owned it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
nice
to
one.
think-
Good
And
one.
it's the Australian premiere of this piece.
I know. I did mention that.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
Yes, yeah, I did say that by
Yeah,
Susie
cool.
Miller, who was here last night and did
She
a
was.
Q&A at the end of the session.
She did, and she's so lovely.
Yeah.
So cool, which was really awesome. Never had that experience before, having the playwright of the play you're doing sitting next to you.
Yeah.
That was quite nerve-wracking, actually.
I
It was just
bet.
like, oh my
bet.
God, Mark and I got here and were like, don't stuff this up.
You can imagine what I'd have been like. Imagine for me. I'd be like, oh no.
It was full on. We
I'm
were just
gonna
like,
cry.
oh, but she was happy. Thank God. So, yeah, so it's all good. So it's all good.